Ninove is a city and municipality located in the Flemish province of East Flanders in Belgium. It is situated on the river Dender, and is part of the Denderstreek. The municipality comprises the city of Ninove proper and since the 1976 merger of the towns of Appelterre-Eichem, Aspelare, Denderwindeke, Lieferinge, Meerbeke, Nederhasselt, Neigem, Okegem, Pollare and Voorde.On January 1, 2012, Ninove had a total population of 37.289. The total area is 72.57 square kilometers, which gives a population density of 514 inhabitants per square kilometer. History. The oldest version of the name Ninove dates from the 9th century. Later versions of the city name were Ninove and Ninove. The current version of the city name dates from the 14th century. The origin of the city name is not clear. There are two theories about the origin. One states that the name is from Roman origin. The other states that it is of Frankish origin. The meaning of the name, however, is known. Ninove means Nieuw, or in English, new pasture. During the Roman rule, Ninove was a small settlement located in the current Nederwindeke. With the arrival of the Franks in the 4th century AD, the settlement grew to a small agricultural town. The area on which Ninove is located was from 843 on part of the Holy Roman Empire. In the 11th century this area was conquered by the Count of Flanders. Boudewijn V and the whole area between the rivers Scheldt and Dender became part of the Flanders. For the 11th century on, the medieval castrum was fortified into a castle stronghold. Because it lay on the trade route between Flanders and Brabant, the town prospered and grew into a city. In 1137, Norbertine monks founded the St. Cornelius Abbey, adjacent to the city. Because of its large landholdings, the abbey soon became one of the biggest grain producers in Flanders. In 1295 the town and lands were bought by the Count of Flanders Guyot Dampierre. His grandson Henry awarded the town a city charter in 1339. The 15th to 17th century was a bad time for the city as the region was plagued with war and religious and political strife. The abbey was plundered by the French in 1578 during the Reformation. In 1658, Ninove was occupied by the French army. After the Treaty of the Pyrenees, the French returned the area back to Spain, but the area was to change hands many times during the wars of Louis XIV and Louis XV of France. During the 17th century, Ninove was crippled under the indemnities laid on it by the warring parties, and the town faced a big economic crisis as its cloth industry went into decline. The big abbey was closed by the French in 1796, after Flanders was annexed to France. The town served as a cavalry headquarters during the Waterloo Campaign of 1815. During the 19th century, Ninove became industrialized, and by the time of the First World War, the city became the center of the Flemish match industry. This industry, however, declined in importance until the last match factory closed during the late 1970s. From 1973 to 2011, the town of Meerbeke was the finish of the cycling race Tour of Flanders. The population of Ninove has steadily grown, and the city has become an attractive center for commercial, recreational and economical activities in the area, and plays host to a popular annual Volkswagen show every March, specifically for air-cooled vehicles, i.e. Beetles, camper vans, Type 3s, 4s etc. The opening of a shopping mall in the center of the city, as well as new sport and cultural infrastructure, and the construction of many residential apartment buildings have made Ninove a growing competitor for nearby ALSD and an ideal living place for many commuters who work in nearby Brussels. City politics. Since the 1st of November 2015, the mayor of Ninove has been Tanya de Jong. The city council currently has 33 members, and is composed as follows: Open VLD 9 seats, Forza Ninove 9 seats, SP Grown 6 seats, NVA 5 seats, CD and AMP V 4 seats. CD and AMP V and NVA had allied themselves for the 2000 election, and formed a coalition with the VLD. Due to the increase of population, the threshold of 35,000 inhabitants had been passed, and Ninove saw an increase from 31 to 33 council members for the communal elections, which were held on Sunday, October 8, 2006. The municipal elections on October 8, 2006 let the VLD retain its 12 seats, the CD and AMP V win a seat, giving them a total of 8. The Vlaams Belang double its seats, giving them a total of 8. The Socialist Party Pro Ninove lose a seat, making a total of 4. And the Green Party hold the single seat. The coalition between VLD and CD and AMP V was renewed, but without the NVA. During the January 2, 2007 elections of the OCMW Council, one member of the VLD fraction voted for a candidate of Vlaams Belang, making the VLD lose one seat. After an investigation led by the local chapter of the VLD, it was announced that the person they suspected to be the culprit was Chaplain Mariette de Smet. De Smet announced she would leave the VLD, but would remain in the council of the mayor and aldermen as an independent. Her colleagues in the council stripped her of all her duties, but after a few months she regained a few of them. On January 9, 2008, de Smet, fellow VLD Chaplain Corain, and another VLD member of the city council announced they were joining LDD, leaving the VLD CD and AMP V with a brittle one-seat majority on the city council. The LDD aldermen, however, elected to stay in the majority, making for a brittle coalition. On May 5, 2009, a Vlaams Belang council member defected to the LDD. In 2009, Mayor Luc Durand announced he would resign due to health reasons. He was replaced in September by Michel Castor. In 2010, another VB council member left the party to become an independent. In January 2011, Mariette de Smet announced she would join the Vlaams Belang charter list Forza Ninove, and left LDD. She was then again stripped of her duties by her fellow aldermen. On July 27, 2011, de Smet was murdered in a murder-suicide by her lover. She was replaced as alderman by a member of the VLD. In 2012, the local LDD disbanded, with its members either joining Forza Ninove or NVA. 2013 current. The municipal elections on October 14, 2012 saw the ruling VLD-CD and AMP VLDD coalition head for electoral defeat, as the VLD lost 3 and the CD and AMP V lost 4 seats. Vlaams Belang, under the charter name Forza Ninove, won a seat, giving them a total of 9. The Socialist Party SP, and the Green Party formed a charter and won 6 seats. NVA won 5 seats. After the negotiations between VLD, SP, Agrone and NVA collapsed, the coalition between VLD and CD and AMP V was renewed but expanded, with SP, Agrone, NVA claiming election irregularities by CD and AMP V, and Forza Ninove launched and won an administrative appeal. This ruling vacated the election results and ordered new elections to be held. Open VLD, CD and AMP V and SP, Agrone appealed this ruling to the Council of State, which in February 2013 subsequently overthrew the previous ruling and restored the election results. The new city council and aldermen were finally inaugurated on the 25th of February 2013. On the 1st of November 2015, Mayor Koster stood down and was replaced by Tanja de Jong. The next municipal elections are to be held sometime in October 2018. List of former mayors' nicknames. Throughout the ages, the inhabitants of Ninove were given various nicknames as a title of honor or mockery. Wertelmannen or Wurtels. The inhabitants were given the title of Wertelmannen or Wurtels because of an event during the Middle Ages. During a row with the neighboring city of Aalst, the people of Aalst decided to besiege Ninove. The inhabitants of Ninove were completely surprised by this attack and were found unprepared. In all the confusion, the key to close the city gate could not be found. In order to bolt the gate, a carrot was used. A passing donkey saw the carrot bolt and ate it, leaving the city gate unbolted and the militiamen from Aalst free entry of the city. De oudste Denderwindeke Ninove was described by Antonius Sanderus as the oldest, the boldest and the wisest of cities. Sanderus wrote in his Flandria Illustrata, Ninove was called the oldest because of the similarity of its name with the ancient Assyrian city Nineveh, the boldest because it waited on the enemy with open gates, and the wisest because the city had no jester or town fool. If one was needed, a fool from a neighboring town was lent. Famous inhabitants: Rudy de Leeuw, Chairman ABVV, Johannes de Sportarius, Flemish humanist, Johan Evenpoel, Belgian composer, Romain Gijsels, professional road bicycle racer, Frans Hemmerich, ex-Belgian physician, known for his work amongst lepers in the Belgian Congo and in India, Willy Rojmin, writer and jazz musician, Wesley Sonk, a former football player of the Belgian national football team, Kevin van der Perren, ice skater, 9th at the Winter Olympics, Hans van Latham, town crier, Louis Waltneel, liberal politician and industrialist.